Hello everyone, my name is Dorothy Chia and I run a music studio, Dorothy Chia Piano, and I also go by the business name fortemusictraining. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about handphone addiction, which came up in the course of the week. I teach a few teenagers and parents have shared with me a big concern these days is how to limit the teenager handphone usage. Okay, so addiction is real. Addiction is becoming a 21st century problem among teenagers. Okay, we all know that handphone usage produces EMF. So this is harmful for a child's developing brain. Okay, it's like frying your brains with electromagnetic field. I don't know, like sticking your head in the microwave. All right. Of course, the experts will say that no, handphones don't give out that much EMF. But I think if it's prolonged usage and day after day, if you keep using the handphone for many, many hours, then it becomes harmful. The effect becomes cumulative. So I think down the road, we're going to see increased cancer and maybe even brain hemorrhages. Okay, we don't know. I'm not the expert. We know that increased use of handphone creates students that lack focus. So this is going to affect their focus on life outside of the handphone and playing games on the phone. So it interrupts the focus. Handphone, as we know, if they're playing games, there's a lot of animation and the screen is always moving. So if they are looking at a book, for example, or they are doing worksheet, that the page is not dancing, okay? So that means now they have to push their brains to follow the question, to understand the question, and to answer questions on their worksheet. So we are still in paper technology in school, all right? So there is a conflict at this point because screen time and used to reading and being entertained by the screen versus the amount of concentration that is needed when it's homework time and you have to do write essays and utilize the brain power to think up your answers. It will become challenging. And of course, given a choice, to use the brain for work and having to think takes great effort and twice as much effort than just putting it on hold and put thinking on hold and just entertain the brain with games. Yeah, so there is that dilemma now. Okay, so my advice coming from someone in teaching line for the past 35 years, although I'm teaching music, yeah, but I do interact a lot with young people. So I would say that if your child doesn't have a handphone yet, meaning if they are primary school, they are kindergarten, this is the best time to teach actually the harms of too much handphone usage. Okay, so I would set boundaries. Okay, so for example, if you lend the phone to the child to play, tell them finish your homework and then you have 15 minutes to play on my handphone. Set boundaries so the kid know that before they use the handphone or before they play games, there is a boundary, and then stick to the boundary. Another thing would be to set limitations on what and when they can use the phone. So if you're a secondary school going student or a JC Polytechnic student have their own phone, then set boundaries. When you give them the phone, tell them it's only for use when you need to contact me, all right, the parent. Other than that, they have to ask permission. Okay, and then maybe set a limitation when handphone can be used. Maybe during school hours, they cannot use the phone, and the phone can only be used after school hours, and after dinner time, all handphones must be put away. Now we come to the point that was addressed this week. What if your teenager already has this handphone addiction problem? My suggestion is to get counseling, all right? Get counseling. And if the kid is not listening to you, the parent, then they might be more receptive to listening to an expert that is not the parent, okay? Secondly, you could make this also a family effort. So like just now I said, set a time limit, like after dinner, no handphone, okay? So, and the whole family does this. So mother, father, kid, brother, sister, all follow the same house rule, okay? So it will be very difficult, but I really think that the head of the family sets the tone, which means if you are playing on your phone and you tell your kid, no, you can't play on your phone, there's a contradiction, okay? Whereas if the whole family does this together, and you could say that after dinner time is rest and relax, all right? If we, over the weekend, is let's go out and do cycling, or let's family dinner time, no handphone, or let's watch TV together and catch up on the news. For example, I think it's endless. You could create your own in-house rules and regulation, but definitely work at it as a family. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents worth on handphone addiction. I really wish we were back in the days where there's no handphone. I grew up with no handphone, and I am perfectly fine sitting quietly on the train or quietly on the bus without looking at my gadgets. So maybe if you start modeling that once again for your kid, yeah, and start them young, then it would not have become a problem when they become teenagers. So once they are 16 and above, I think they will stop listening to you. So do nip the problem in the bud. Better still, prevent the problem before it happens. So till the next week, bye-bye.